We have brand new MS Now reporting about a heated all-night debate inside the Secret Service over whether to resist pressure from the Trump administration to surveil former FBI Director James Comey. Our team reports that on the night of May 15th, from 7:30 p.m. until midnight, a flurry of calls, texts, and instructions flew back and forth inside the Secret Service. And several senior officials at headquarters worried they could regret doing what their superiors in the Trump administration wanted. This all stemmed from a battle over whether Comey's post of seashells spelling out 8647 should be considered an actual threat on the president's life. Mary and Carol are back with us. Carol, the headline of your story: Secret Service felt pressure from administration to surveil James Comey. You report that agents felt that using emergency powers to track Comey's phone was a terrible idea and could come back to haunt them. But in the end, they did it anyway. What else did you learn?
So I want to credit James Comey's defense attorney, Patrick Fitzgerald, who obtained so many gobsmacking internal records from the Secret Service that spelled out for us this late night event on May 15th, 2025, when a fairly mid-level supervisor in the Washington field office of the Secret Service is tasked with, can we ping the phone of the former FBI director so we can secretly surveil him? That agent's response immediately, based on the records, was, that is legally questionable and a terrible idea. What I did when I saw these records, Alicia, was, and we were looking at them at midnight into early Wednesday morning, what I did was, as soon as I could politely and professionally do so, the next morning, sometime after 8 a.m., call Secret Service sources and say, guys, tell me what happened here. What happened with this agent who memorialized it, obviously, defensively, like, here's what I did, here's what I thought was illegal, here's who ordered me to do something different, here's what I learned along the way. And those people told me something that's not in Pat Fitzgerald and James Comey's filings, and that is that there was a huge debate inside Secret Service headquarters, the general counsel, all of the senior executives saying to themselves and to each other, this is going to be terrible and come back to haunt us. We don't have the emergency authority to surveil the former FBI director without a warrant because we don't believe he is a threat to anyone's life, much less the life of the president, who is on Air Force One right now, somewhere between Qatar and refueling in the UK.
And yet they did it. So what happened?
So according to the notes, and also buttressed by sources, a top DOJ official, whom the Secret Service label as the number 3, essentially it's probably the morning, although we can't be exactly sure when this order came in, the morning of May 16th. So after Comey has made his posting and after agents have said, this is not legal, a DOJ official says, you're going to do it. We need you to ping his phone. It's an electronic signal without a warrant to the phone to locate Jim Comey. And then they have Secret Service agents from field offices on that Friday do something unthinkable, really, like trail Jim Comey and his wife as they drive from the Outer Banks to their home in the Virginia suburbs. Again, a guy who's they've determined is not a threat to anyone's life.
Well, it's not a threat. He's on a beach vacation. The president is on Air Force One, Mary. The agent might have memorialized this in order to legally protect themselves, but I wonder how it plays in the DOJ's case and Comey's push to get it dismissed.
Well, I mean, it is just one fact among just a plethora of facts that show that this is a vindictive prosecution. And that's what this was an exhibit to. It was an exhibit to the motion filed to dismiss this case on the grounds that it is vindictive and selective. Vindictive because it's being brought in response to James Comey asserting his rights to speak, his First Amendment rights to speak out about this president. And selective because guess what? Part of the data that is in this motion and the exhibits are that there are literally hundreds of thousands of T-shirts for sale saying 8647. It's posted everywhere. It's something that people say all the time, and not one of these other people is being prosecuted, right? So it's selective. And there is so much in this affidavit of James Comey's attorney, Patrick Fitzgerald, not just what you and Carol have been talking about, which frankly, as a former prosecutor behavior is outrageous to me. I mean, an agent actually certified under oath, let me read it, that this relates to an emergency involving danger of death or serious physical injury to a person, necessitating disclosure without delay of information relating to that emergency. What emergency? They need to know James Comey's path traveling from North Carolina, probably up Interstate 95 to Virginia, to prevent James Comey from somehow, assassinating a president who's on a plane on the way to, Europe or wherever he was on the way to. It's just so blatantly false. But in addition to that, they went to extraordinary efforts to determine could they get any support for 86 even meaning killing somebody. They used AI, believe it or not. They did sentinel searches of the FBI's files in mob cases to see was there ever any evidence elicited that 86 is a term used by mobs to, including the Gambinos to reference killing, and they just couldn't find it. It just didn't exist. I mean, the extraordinary efforts they went to sort of tail James Comey, and then of course the timeline of this prosecution, right? Seychelles happens before his first indictment on the alleged lying to Congress, an indictment that fell apart in a case that was dismissed after James Comey asserted his rights, right, to contest that prosecution. He wins on that. After that, DOJ reopens this bogus investigation into the Seychelles, and what do you know? Brings a new prosecution. So the motion really sets out a timeline that I think is pretty devastating to this prosecution and shows behavior that I'm embarrassed to have ever been a part of the department, to see this kind of behavior out of the department.